Overnight line movers, Teddy, we are a betting show. And just because the Super Bowl in football is done here and we appear on the show, things are happening overnight, as we like to say. The money never sleeps. Knicks, Pistons total on the move. Opened up some offshore markets there, Teddy, at 205. Now we're seeing some 207s here, early morning action. If we take a look at the lines itself, Pistons versus the Knicks. Knicks favored by 4, 207 total. Excuse me, the Knicks are not favored by 4. The Knicks are getting 4 points here. Money line split minus 190 plus 165. Any thoughts on this one, Teddy, on what these market movements would be? Looking for some scoring here.
Yeah, there aren't many teams the Knicks are going to be favored again. Yeah. I mean, maybe a home game against Phoenix or Cleveland. That's about it when it comes to the New York Knickerbockers as chalk right now. Money coming on the over. I'm not surprised at this at all. The Pistons flew over the total yesterday against the Nuggets. A really strong offensive game plan. They pushed the pace a little bit in that contest, and it's a Knicks team that really isn't playing much defense. So I'm not shocked at all. See early money on the over in this one.
Teddy, I want to get your thoughts on this because, I mean, we can't get enough coverage right now. Is Anthony Davis going to the Lakers? What are they going to offer up? It could happen at any moment. It can maybe happen this summer. The betting market's going to evaluate these, and we see some line movements here between 2.5, 3.5, back to 2.5, back to 3 in the Lakers game. Is there any value? And again, we made a joke here looking at the Manny Machado, Bryce Harper. Are you going to jump that line or not jump it when he gets to a team to try to find that longevity and win totals? But we're talking a little bit shorter term here. Do some people actually take a look at this and say, you know what, sooner or later we think he's going to get traded, and it might happen today where maybe you can get a bonus where 4 to 5 players are being traded away and the other team's going to have the advantage there? Is there any, reasoning for this movement in that way, or even your thoughts on if that can even take place, or does it take place?
Well, I mean, we had a situation a couple of days ago where the Mavericks traded their, the 3/5 of their starting lineup and sat the other 2 guys and went to Detroit, and the line moved from 2.5 to 7.5, which I thought was short. And, the Pistons are like, oh, we're not worried about these guys. And they won by 4. So oftentimes you'll see the favorite let down when the opponent comes in with a mismatched roster. And, it's happened many, many times. I thought it happened with Golden State a little bit against the Lakers the other night. Well, LeBron's not playing, and the Warriors came out flat. And they were flat for 3 quarters until they went on that big run in the 4th. So, here's a situation where not only we don't know about LeBron's status and he's in and out of the lineup, it's clear that all the rumors and all the trade talk swirling around LA is affecting him. Remember, it's a young team outside of the handful of veterans. Brandon Ingram, who's been mentioned in every trade rumor, he's like, we don't discuss it. Whatever happens, happens. We can only control what we can control. They can't control it. And it's certainly something that has an impact on how LA is playing right now. It's a big concern for me when you talk about the Lakers in Indiana tonight laying points, even though the Pacers on the second of back-to-backs after a hard-fought win in New Orleans last night.
College basketball action, Teddy. Battle of Kansas tonight here. Getting some line movement. And normally, if you're the average bettor looking out there, say, wait a second. Kansas going in the opposite direction to Kansas State. Should be an interesting one. More offshore markets, Teddy, opened up at -1. Now we're seeing right now live -3s for Kansas State here at home. Kansas just 1-5 straight up on the highway. Kansas State 0-8 straight up versus Kansas. 70-63. 70-63 in 2005 on this very floor, which is the Octagon of Doom. Some good line movement here, Teddy, for us.
Yeah, and it's been nothing, as you mentioned, nothing but wise guy money on K-State. The leading indicator books are telling me this line could even go higher after all this K-State money. And look, make no mistake about it, Kansas has not been a good team on the highway. They have 5 losses this year, all 5 of them away from home, just 1-5 straight up on the road. And, of course, the K-State team that's played their best basketball of late. And they haven't beaten Kansas since 2015, 0-8 straight up. Their last 8 tries against the Jayhawks. 2015, they beat them by 7 on this floor. The market's expecting more of the same. And, well, less of the same, more like that 2015 meeting when you talk about the money pouring in on the Wildcats today. It's as big a line move as we've had in any basketball game this evening.